Welcome back to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel, where you get daily and consistent hot topics in music, entertainment, reality TV, and more. Tonight, or this evening, is one of those things that we call More, a reality TV recap of some of your favorites on Bravo. Shahs of Sunset and Married to Medicine. As you know, the part 2 of Married to Medicine reunion aired. I just watched it and I'm like, this is like, people, you should not have this on television. Go home. I fell for Dr. Contessa, though, but we'll get there. We have to talk about Shahs. As you know, I've been doing a deep dive into Shahs. There's a lot to talk about. We're going to do a separate show just to do a conversation like we did last week on Shahs of Sunset. Shout out to everyone that's in the chat. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Shout out to my girl, Shan. Shan, yes, maybe next week. Shan and Van. We're not going to go over it because then everyone's going to be crying. But everyone, shout out to everyone in the crowds, everyone that's watching, DC, Chicago, Dallas. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Drop your crowns if you haven't already. Love it, love it. Detroit's in the building. What's going on? What's going on? Sonia, Ramona News. Literally just dropped that video. If you don't know, after this live, be sure to check out our full report. Ramona Singer reportedly, it hasn't been confirmed yet. It probably won't be confirmed until the new season, to be honest with you. That's how these Bravo things work. Reportedly, she's not coming back for season 14. Just literally posted that video. Houston's in the house. Love seeing the crowns, y'all. Love seeing your crowns. Make sure you always remember to put it on your head. All right, so let's just jump into this because there's a lot to cover in regards to the Shahs of Sunset and in regards to Married to Medicine reunion. So, London. Can we talk about London? She's the newest addition to the cast of Shahs of Sunset. And I have to say, I really like her. I feel like she's the answer that people have been saying that they wanted for Asa. She brings a balance, but I actually really like her more because to me, she really, everything that she says, she's a different version of Asa. Because Asa was more of the spirituality, even though we get that from London, we also get the actual psychological, you know, there's this other element, the more science element that we get from London. I like her as a part of the group. She's not problematic. She's funny when we need her to be funny. I like Asa. I like Asa more than, not Asa. Oh, Lord. I like London more than Destiny. Destiny, this episode, I don't know. Like, I want to like Destiny, but Destiny, I could take her or leave her, but I hear rumor on the street, People's Couch is coming back, so maybe she'll have a job. All right. London gives us more than Asa did. Oh, I agree, but I feel like she's sort of that balance that we need on the show. MJ's not giving us that balance. Gigi's definitely not giving that balance. Sidebar, I'm on the end of the season of season 5 where Gigi runs after Reza after the whole Asa event. I wanted her to get him. I just want to know what she would have really done if she had gotten to him. But maybe that was the plan. Nicole says Destiny is a good time. Okay. Nicole says London and the girlfriend look alike. I see that a lot, honestly. That's a whole other conversation. But backtracking to Nima and London. Nima's another one that I like. Nima has a really although I can see the dog potential in Nima, but at the same time, I like Nima's energy. And Nima, he just seems really cool, laid back. He doesn't bring much of a storyline. The Cynthia of Shahs. Y'all love when I do that. But I like the conversation that he was having with London because London really tried to make sense of why he's still having issues with Gigi. And she says, Gigi just wants you to be your true self. All right. But it goes back to that whole, and I haven't watched that season yet where Nima rejects Gigi in Hawaii. But in this episode, and this is the great thing about Shahs, they always kind of keep you up to date. So even if you didn't watch the previous seasons, they flash back to it. So they do flash back to it. What's going on with Gigi? Did Gigi fake the arthritis? You know, last week I was speculating that Gigi makes up stuff in order to have a storyline. Now, every time I look at what Gigi says and does on the show, I'm sort of like, is she trying to get a storyline? Because Gigi really has no storyline. Let's be real. Yes, now she's a mother, but that's not even her storyline. You barely see her son, which is okay. I don't want children on reality TV. But what is her storyline besides getting involved in everyone else's storyline and creating these narratives? Did she fake the funk about arthritis? Angela, Nima is such a partial angel. Partial angel. What a good way to put that. I think it's real, but I think she milked it. I think she milked it too. I do think it's real because she had surgery. She literally had surgery. But the chemotherapy. I know I'm backtracking. Let's focus on this episode because there's a lot to cover. So Nima and London have a conversation in order for him to have a better conversation and trying to resolve his issues with Gigi. I don't know what Nima sees in Gigi. Maybe just Nima's attracted to her. I don't see anything that is redeeming in Gigi, Golnessa, Loch Nessa. And maybe because I literally just watched her run across, throw off her shoes and run after Reza. So maybe I'm feeling a little differently towards Gigi. But she doesn't have a storyline. Oh, Lord. So Destiny and Reza, they meet up, and of course they're talking about Mike because that's all they want to do this season is talk about Mike. And of course Reza makes it about him and how he's seen his father cheat, and it's very triggering for him. And Reza is such a Leo. He is such a Leo. He makes everything about him. I'm over it. And apparently he's making it so much about him and what's going on with Mike. Now that's his storyline this season. What is Reza's storyline this season? Sidebar. I know I'm going to do a lot of sidebars, y'all. I believe Reza cheated on Adam. Well, I know he's admitted to that. But based on the season that I'm in, season 5, I believe that Reza cheated on Adam. And I believe that Gigi did see video of Reza allegedly giving a professional at the gym. I believe it. Reza, the fact that we saw Reza on TV cheat on his boyfriend at his bachelor party. So you're telling me what he's doing off camera? Come on now. And I know all of you have called in and speculated that Reza and Adam have an open relationship. I know plenty, especially gay men, that have open relationships. I'm not judging that. Even though when I was on the Grace Report earlier today, I reminded y'all, I don't judge. That couldn't be for me. That couldn't be for me. I'm too possessive. And I don't think I'm possessive, but I couldn't. You coming up in here smelling like somebody else? I just want to throw something just thinking about it. And that's not even my reality. Anyways, so I believe that. But this whole, conversation Reza's having this episode, Reza's always talking about everyone's relationships and everyone's business. Even with the whole Golnessa arthritis thing, he was the one starting the mess and then sent poor Shervin to go bring it up. And Shervin fell for it. Shervin was like, people are saying, Shervin, why are you doing the dirty work? Let them say it to her. Don't you get involved in that mess. You already have a good relationship with Loch Nessa. That's just me. Shan says, I don't share well with others. Me either. And I probably should do better with that, but definitely not with my partner. Definitely not with my partner. Hold on, y'all. Let me just make sure I'm covering because I can skip around. Because I'm doing a deep dive, I want to backtrack so much. That's why we have to do a separate live on the history of Shahs. We'll get there. And maybe Shan will call in for that special. Shan will be in touch because Shan has a deep knowledge of Shahs of Sunset, and she even did a video on it. Shan, I'm not sure if that video is still up. Let us know in the comments. All right, backtracking. Okay. My MJ and Mike, they had a meeting. I don't know. I know why you guys don't like MJ. I know. I've been watching the seasons, but still, in comparison to everyone else, I don't hate MJ. I'm just saying, I don't mind her. If anything, this season, because she has, Shams, she's definitely a lot more mature. I get why people like Tommy. Tommy was funny. I still don't understand what happened back then. It seemed so rushed for them to get married and engaged. Vita was giving me life. In this episode, we get them playing Vita, right? What's this episode they were talking about Vita? I don't know. Everything is coming all together, y'all. Anyway, no, it was this episode. I think I wrote that down. Yep, their Vita impersonation right before Friendsgiving. Okay, but backtracking. So MJ and Mike meet up. Mike is over people talking about his relationships. But look, at one point, I was not defending Mike, but I was open to like, oh, Mike's just misunderstood. But if you watch the past seasons, you realize Mike is not misunderstood. Mike is doing exactly what he did to poor Jessica. Oh, Jessica. I feel for Jessica. And she was so young at the time. Paulina, I feel this is the same situation when Reza's saying that Mike won't allow Paulina to come to this Friendsgiving. I believe that because we literally saw it with Jessica, where he wouldn't even allow Jessica to come out during the reunion. Mike is problematic. Mike might be the A word. I wonder which word y'all were thinking. Drop it in the chat. Both. He's probably both. Elle says she's grown as a mother, and I respect she doesn't have nannies. Cough, cough, Gigi. Damn, the shade. Thanks, Rachel. Been a fan of Kempire. Love the chat. Thank you. Shout out to my mod. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Shout out to Diana. Diana is sick. Yeah, y'all keep her in your prayers. Hopefully she'll be back very soon. So make sure y'all hold down and make her proud in the chat, y'all. We have about almost 100 people in the chat. Like this video if you haven't liked it already. We are recapping Shahs of Sunset and the Married to Medicine reunion part 2. And that was a mess. So let me get through this Shaw stuff. Once we get to 100 likes, I'll post the call-in link. But I have a lot to get to. So let's get back into this. So MJ and Mike have their conversation. He talks about growing up poor and, how Reza makes fun of his stuff. I can see how, look, I'm just going to, yes, and yes. I can see how someone like Reza, who I don't know, did Reza grow up rich? I don't know. But Mike talks about growing up poor and how Reza makes him feel now because of, the things that he wears and things like that. So he's feeling very insecure. Mind you, these are people that call each other brother. And I've speculated that they just call each other family and friends because of the show at this point. I think they've been over each other. If they didn't have the show, they probably would never talk to each other again in life. And I wouldn't blame them. But they have that conversation. Of course, later in the episode, Mike and Reza meet up. We'll get there. But before Mike and Reza meet up, Nima and Gigi have a meet up. And I have to say, Gigi, she looked gangsta, but she looked really cute. Can we just talk about how cute Gigi looked? I was like, where is she going? Is she going to fight? This is Nima. You don't have to fight Nima. But they do finally have a conversation. She wants him to be authentic. She says that he's not being authentic. I don't know. Do you guys think that Nima's not being authentic? I don't get that vibe from Nima. But they make peace. That's the least interesting part of this episode, though. I could care less if Nima and Gigi are beefing. Anyone else? I could care less. Angela says Gigi's fashions are always on point. I don't know about always, but she definitely looks cute. Cindy says Gigi is always fly. Okay, guys, calm down. Better than most, though. All right. Let's get back into this. One of the funny things that Gigi did say during her conversation with Nima is that he's been in therapy for a while now, but she's like, you need a new therapist. I should be your therapist, but I want to get paid for it. Oh, Lord. And the other gripe that Gigi had against Nima was that he did not send a congratulations once she had her son. I don't know. People pissed at me, old friends that probably had babies that I didn't send a text to. Calm down. It ain't that deep. Are they really besties on the show? No. I understand that MJ and Reza may have been, but the rest of these people, no, I don't believe it. So they're preparing for the Friendsgiving. Destiny and MJ go shopping. One thing I love about Shahs of Sunset, when they host the party, they really host the party. And at this Friendsgiving, I thought they would do a mix of Persian and, traditional American Thanksgiving. It seemed like it was just a very traditional Thanksgiving, but they always do it up. There's always plenty of food. And I found myself hungry. And I don't want to talk too much about it now because I have not eaten dinner. And you guys know how I get when I don't eat dinner. Anyways, Mike and Reza meet up and oh my gosh. Just when you think this conversation was deaded during this conversation, no, it's brought back up later on. So Mike and Reza talk. Reza makes Mike, and this is what I wrote, makes Mike's cheating about him and what his father did, blah, 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 blah. I don't understand how these people are friends. I don't know how these people are friends. The spoof text keeps coming up. Look, Mike, we get it. But you do notice, let's just backtrack. You do notice when Mike brings up the spoof text to Reza, he doesn't deny Mike's accusation that you told me Gigi said it. He doesn't deny that. Or did I miss his denial? He denied it when they were in Palm Springs, but he didn't really deny it at the table. On some level, that's what happens. Reza's not telling the truth and Mike's not telling the truth. But Mike, you are deflecting. You were deflecting from, you cheated on Paulina. And this is not the first time, according to Paulina. And Paulina, from what we found in this episode, has not been in contact with Destiny. Poor Paulina. Paulina, get out of this relationship. From what we hear, Paulina, you got your own money. You're not, although we know this is bigger than money. T. Maria says, I love Reza, but he's doing too much. You love Reza? Okay. Danielle says, you are always hungry because you only eat on the weekend. What are you talking about? I eat all the time. Greece is in the house. Love it. I don't think Mike and Paulina are together anymore. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at this point. God, hopefully. Wait, didn't I just see him post a picture with him, Paulina, though, on Instagram? I mean, they could be doing that for the show, but I think they still might be together. Anyways, I wrote this down. Gigi shades MJ's fashion. Look, MJ is not the most fashionable, but look. I thought they were trying to make peace. Let's get to the Thanksgiving, the Friendsgiving. I love it when Reza impersonates Vita. And look, I get why people had such a strong reaction to Vita, MJ's mom, because I saw some of the things that she said and done over the years. But I have to say, when I see MJ's reaction to her mom, I don't see truly hurt. Yes, there have been moments where she looks truly hurt, but part of me sees that MJ almost antagonizes to get that reaction out of her mom. And I'm not sure if she's just doing it for the show, but when I look at her face, she doesn't seem like she's truly bothered by what her mom is saying. Like she's almost amused by what her mom is saying. I don't know, Mommy June. I don't know. Okay, so of course, let me see. Let me just get all my notes here, y'all. London is hosting this Friendsgiving Nima's hosting the Friendsgiving at Nima's house, which is gorgeous. But she doesn't know how to cook and Nima doesn't know how to cook. So they've ordered everything, but they're putting things in the oven that have plastic on it. That's the other thing I love about London. Not only does she bring a balance to the crazy that's here, and she brings her own little storyline, she also brings money. Like, there's some money going on here. I'm just saying. There's definitely some money going on here. All right. So Mike and Reza, the conversation gets heated again. These two, as I said to you before, I feel like these people are staying on the show just because it's a good check. Because what is Mike doing? Yes, in this episode, Mike talks about property. He thanks Reza for, teaching him about this and that. I don't believe any of it. Am I supposed to really believe that Mike is making money off of real estate now? Or Reza? or MJ, I think their biggest check is from this. Us talking about them. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Shan, for the reminder. Remember her mom's other house with the tennis court? I see money. That's how we were introduced to London. London had some checks. And we also got to meet London's girlfriend in this episode. But poor London, to have all that money, why didn't you have servers? You should have had people serving you at this party. I understand it was a pandemic. You could have had, we've seen on other shows, we just saw on Potomac, people in masks. Get some servers. Why are you in the kitchen serving? But the thing that I love about MJ was like, I'm going to handle it, goes in and really puts it together. But then this is the thing that I love about Shahs. They make a joke of things. And they're like, I don't know if I want MJ in there. Does she wash her hands? And then you see MJ taking everything with her hand. But the food looked good, though. I'm going to be real with y'all. Either the food looked really good or I was really hungry. Or I am really hungry. Why didn't London know not to put plastic in the oven? I think that was for comedy relief, right? Right? Shan says, because they are Shahs, not housewives. Okay, all right. Oh, my Lord. Badar says, London doesn't really care about that stuff. But still, I need her to get some servers. Everyone's like, okay, now we're going to have to wait. And then MJ's like, you can't serve food on those plates. Come on, London. I know you've grown up with a little cash. You should know at least what's supposed to be on serving dishes versus a side dish. I don't know. Audrey says, I believe Reza making money. His net worth is $8 million. Did you find that on Google? Trust and believe those things you find on Google are pretty inaccurate in regards to their net worth. And that's also isn't necessarily what they have in the bank. Not to say he doesn't have any money. He's got those, 3 Chanel bracelets. According to Danielle, the one is worth like $5,000. And they're not even that cute, especially when you pile them up like that. I think I like seeing women that have a bunch of bracelets. But for men, I like to see like the one bracelet, Reza. You don't need 3. But that's Reza. Over the top for no reason. Let's get to 50 likes and I will drop the call-in link. But let's first get into any other thoughts. Look, any other thoughts on this? I have to say, I like Shahs. I'm doing a deep dive. I'm really into it. However, this new season, the fact that I'm seeing parallels to what's happened in the past and it's happening again, I'm sort of like, I can see why some people have been in my comment section saying that they're bored, that they checked out last season. You can't keep spewing the same storylines, y'all, and enforcing these toxic relationships. Oh, thanks, Danielle. I forgot. Sorry. Cartier, not Chanel. Whatever. You could tell I ain't got one. You can tell I ain't got one. I will, though. Did I tell you guys? You know, because I like to chit chat with you guys. And if you follow my channel, so I posted a story yesterday, a recap of the Real Housewives of Potomac. So I kept on seeing in the comment section people saying, well, I saw one comment and that said, Nikki followed you. And I was like, I just thought it was spam. You know, sometimes Nikki fans will come in your comment section and say, Nikki's the queen of rap. And I'm like, okay, did I say she wasn't? Well, then someone else commented, Nikki follows you and you don't follow her. And I'm like, what are you talking about, people? So I went to Nikki's page and I saw that Nicki Minaj followed me on TikTok. So if Nicki Minaj is following me on TikTok, you should too, because I'm giving you reality TV recaps, hot topics in under a minute, sometimes under 15 seconds. Just saying. So I thought that was funny. Nicki Minaj is following me. So Nicki, if you're watching our live right now, head on over to the YouTube and I'm going to post the link for you to call in. I thought it was funny. And I never talk. Look, I've had celebrities follow me before on social media. Kelly Rowland follows me. I've been blocked by some celebrities too. I never usually talk about stuff like that, but I thought that was funny because originally I was like, this person's spamming me. But then I was like, oh no, Nikki really does follow. Nikki likes the housewives. So why not? All right. Let me post the link. We got 50 likes. I'm going to post a link for you guys to call in and share your thoughts. I'm going to jump into Married to Medicine reunion part 2. I can't believe it feels like it was so long ago that we talked about part 1, and because it's been like 2 weeks. This was y'all need Dr. Contessa, y'all need to take this off of the show. And I feel like you guys are lying to us. There's something missing from this storyline. And Dr. Scott was about to leave that reunion and leave his wife on the stage. That says a lot to me. And he was trying to make it seem like he wasn't going to leave. Yes, you are. You are about to leave because you thought you were being called out there. Tara says, I will faint if Nikki calls in. I might faint too. No, I won't faint. I didn't faint when Oprah called in. Hold on. Let me just do this. What's this here? Okay, y'all. TikTok, head on over to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel. We're live on the Kempire Daily YouTube channel. We're also live on Facebook, The Kempire, and we're live on Kempire Daily on Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. We're live at The Kempire. Wait, this was the chicken in the grease? What? What is going on here? Yo-Yo says, oh, hold on. Yo-Yo says, yes, full of light. Yeah, there's something not adding up. There's something not adding up when it comes to Dr. Contessa and Dr. Scott's stories. So there's a lot to unpack here. And look, a bunch of y'all already, y'all don't waste no time. Let me pin this. Hold on, y'all. Let me just pin this on the chat. Let me go back here. All right. All right, y'all. And if you guys are just joining us, we're recapping Shahs of Sunset and Married to Medicine. We also recapped The Real Housewives of Potomac earlier today. So if you missed that recap, be sure to check it out on the Kempire Daily YouTube channel. I also stopped by the Grace Report's YouTube channel to recap it with Grace and with Layla Lynn. And stay tuned. That might become a weekly thing. So look out for that as well. T. Maria says, Dr. Scott is a damn liar. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Name dropping as you should. This is a growing channel. Let me take a sip. Okay, I'm digressing. Is that you making fun of me? I literally just heard myself. Let me take a sip though. All right. Oh, someone in my TikTok chat says, oh, I can't stand Mike. He's a dirty John. Damn, he's a dirty John. Hey, Gemini, my soulmate. I missed you so much. Shout out to you. All right. Thanks for shouting me out on my main account. Nick, this is not Nikki in this chat. It says Nicki Minaj back up. All right. Don't catfish me, TikTok. Look. All right. Okay, let me just see what you guys are saying in chat. If y'all recall, Scott didn't want Contessa to remain in the Navy once she started having kids. Problems have been in the marriage since she came on the show. And that's what we've been hearing. But to see it play out on the show, as you know, Quad got involved in the conversation because Dr. Contessa has been sharing all the dirty details about her relationship to the ladies. But one thing I love about Married to Medicine, they all genuinely seem concerned. Even Toya, you remember the season, Toya and Dr. Contessa were not getting along. They were not getting along. They almost looked like they were going to get into a physical fight. Even though I wish Toya luck, because Dr. Contessa. Oh my God, let me just bring up some people so you guys can share your thoughts on this. Hey, Danielle, what's going on?
Hey there.
What were your thoughts, first of all, on Shahs this week?
I don't have any real thoughts on Shahs. I kept falling asleep on it, so.
See, okay, then we'll move on. We're not going to waste any time. Let's talk about Dr. Contessa and her failing marriage.
Okay, let's talk.
So they jump in this particular episode from where they left off, and that is where Quad has revealed that she was going to file for a legal separation. So they go backstage. We see the husbands reacting. Dr. Scott makes it seem as if he's about to leave without his wife. What was your reaction to that?
So let me back up with one thing you just said, and I just thought of it as you said it, how the women are, even though they might not get along, how they're genuinely concerned about each other. Yeah. You know why I think that is, though? Even though Quad right now doesn't fit in this scenario I'm getting ready to say, it's because they're all married. Yeah. I think it's a different dynamic. Just like if the housewives were really housewives, I think we might not have as much bickering with the housewives as we do. It's
Okay.
that they're all coming from the same scenario, married, children, the dynamics are different.
And they've been through it before.
They've been through it before. Like each one of those women, with the exception of Heavenly, because Heavenly really doesn't talk about that if there are bad things going on in her marriage. Like I hope that there aren't, but if there are, she really doesn't speak on that.
Yeah.
But the rest of them have let their guards down about what's going on in their marriages. So I feel like it's genuine, even though, again, we see during the season that they really don't get along sometimes, which is fine because you're not going to always get along with your friend. You might have a disagreement, and that's cool. But to see them collectively come together when one person's like in their time of need, and I think that's great. And I think when you said that, it made me think about like our Atlanta housewives and our Potomac. With them not all being married, it's just like they don't really care. It's more of a crab barrel type thing. Like they just want to climb their way up, as opposed to all of them being on the same playing level and genuinely caring for each other. So I literally just thought that when you said that earlier, a few seconds ago.
I mean, that's a good point to point out. What do you think about Dr. Scott trying to leave?
So I know everyone is going to hate me in the comments, and y'all know I don't care. But I love Dr. Scott because he's making me laugh every single week.
He made you laugh?
Yes, I'm here for his idiotic foolishness. I think someone just put he's a child. I think with the way he backpedals with his words and the fact that he was going to leave that woman and y'all came in a vehicle together. He basically was like, oh, you're not playing the game how I want to play it, so I'm going to take my toys out the sandbox. I'm going to leave you here at the playground. He's a big kid, and he was caught in his own BS. But again, I've said this every week. Without Scott, Contessa has no storyline, so we need him to continuously acting childish so we can have something to talk about.
That's sad.
It's sad because it's part of their reality. But it makes for halfway decent TV because without this, what would we be talking about?
You're right. Because this entire reunion really was, I mean, they do address Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone's relationship, but the bulk of this reunion has been about the downfall of Dr. Contessa's relationship. I wrote in my notes that everyone was crying, but the big thing that stood out to me is that they didn't know how long ago she filed for legal separation.
It makes sense.
He said a month, and then she was like, no, it's like 5 or 6 months.
And then he said 3. It was almost like watching Mia trying to figure out how old she was. It just didn't make sense. And
Mia Thornton from Potomac.
Yes, that makes me think you're lying. Like it's almost like, did they come up with this story? And thank you, Nicole, because why was Quad there? If Quad, and you know, Miriam pointed this out to me earlier. If Quad is a friend of the show, why is it like she's on the entire reunion? And why is she be an anti seat with little question cards? She needed to read off the question because she totally led that entire conversation.
And I appreciated it because, to be honest with you, as I've said multiple times, Andy doesn't need to be hosting this reunion.
But you know what I did appreciate? I appreciated Curtis saying, don't let them tell your story for you. And I appreciated Eugene was like, well, no, Quad, we don't want you to say anything. Like they wanted Quad to shut up because they saw that she was stirring up mess. And we needed it because without it, it would have been boring once again. But I didn't.
And the season 2.
Yeah, okay, so I'm a backpedal on what I said. Probably.
Always.
Hey, I don't care. I can, like Wendy Williams said, we can change our mind because we're females. I'm gonna change my mind because I'm a female. I didn't want Quad on the show when she first got divorced because I would like them to stick to the script of it being married to medicine. Now, do I like her as a friend on the show? Absolutely. She does bring what we need. However, I'm ready for Quad to come back because Quad gives us more than Quad gives us something to talk about. Now, what I do need, I need Quad to stop giving me so many Phaedra tendencies and not really want to talk about her stuff. And she does sometimes, but like she's supposed to be dating someone. Who are you dating, Quad? Let's talk about it. Like I need
the doctor because y'all really be ripping and running with this whole she's not married to medicine anymore.
Well, because again, you get a different dynamic when everyone is on the same playing field. And she doesn't need the playing field.
But we also need someone that really knows these women.
But she's getting to know them just like we are, because she's not friends with none of them for real, for real.
Oh, damn. All right, I'm going to bring some other people up to join the conversation. El Michelle, thoughts on the latest episode of Married to Medicine Reunion Part 2?
So, I didn't watch Married to Medicine this season. I honestly didn't watch after the whole. I stopped watching after the whole Buffy thing, but I feel like I've watched enough or listened to enough of you guys' reviews and different reviews to, in the previous seasons, I've always felt like Contessa uses her relationship with Scott as a storyline. And it was from when she first started to when she wanted to stop working. She wanted to be a stay-at-home mother. Then she wasn't fulfilled. And then she went back to work. And then she didn't want to work. And then she went to she went someplace else to get her master's of public health. Mm-hmm. And then my understanding is they found out this particular reunion or something like that, or she said something in the Essence magazine that she actually went to another school in a different state because that was like their way of like kind of taking a break from each other. Again, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
So for me, I feel like she's played with her marriage so much on this show at this point that it's like it's crumbling around her. And again, I could be wrong. We're just a fly on the wall looking at it through a TV screen, and we're just making assessments of the situation. But
and we've heard that multiple times from so many people that have called in when we talked about Married to Medicine. Everyone has said, and just now Danielle said it as well, this has been Dr. Contessa's storyline. But we see her during the Married to Medicine Reunion Part 2 break down backstage with Dr. Jack. She even turns on Dr. Jackie, saying that, I wrote down some of the things that she says. She says, I don't matter. And I'm like, girl, you need to go. First of all, you need some therapy yourself.
Yes.
But even when she poses the question to Dr. Scott about what is the one thing that I want, everyone, including the audience, probably could have answered that question, but Dr. Scott couldn't answer that question. She wants you to go to therapy with her.
Yeah. And I feel like if something is small, it's not small. Therapy is not small, but it's a step that shows that two people are willing to take the step together to at least get on the same page, on the right page. And I feel like people, I don't want to say it's just women, but women, we put too much on our kids as the reason why we stay with a man that's not good for us. And I feel like I feel like she doesn't do the right soul searching. I feel like her soul searching is lit, and there's nothing wrong with putting your kids first. You really need to put your kids first. But I think she needs to think about what she's teaching her kids, especially her girl, and her son. Like, it's okay for me to sit in this marriage and be upset and be sad and be crying and know that this is not where I want to go or where I want to be. And I'm cool with arguing in front of my kids, because you can't tell me they don't argue in front of their kids, or their kids don't hear or don't see like the disrespect that might be taking place between their mom and their dad. And I feel like kids that age are going to pick it up, because didn't one of them say something like, mommy, daddy was talking to his girlfriend? Like,
speaking of, I just want to ask Danielle, what did you think of Dr. Scott's excuse in regards to the whole girlfriend in the phone situation?
It was not well rehearsed. He needed to talk a little longer. And to El Michelle's point, what happened was the daughter asked Siri on her dad's phone, call daddy's girlfriend. And Siri's response was, which one? And the daughter thought that was hilarious. So when she told it to Contessa was like, no, daddies aren't supposed to have girlfriends. And Scott's response was, well, I changed it so it's for Contessa. No, you didn't. You literally had it in your phone as girlfriend, as opposed to putting Mike or Black or Chris. One of the fellas wouldn't be picked up on. You literally had it as girlfriend number 1 and girlfriend number 2. That's why Siri. And then he even admitted that he changed it back. So now your story doesn't make sense.
And then the guys were like, oh, he should have left that last part out.
Yes. They prepped him horribly. He was not ready. Not ready.
You have to practice your lies on the way to the event. You have to practice them. Get the words right.
He's a bad liar. But look, Dr. Contessa, if you like it, I love it. But tell me, so you called in for Shahs of Sunset?
Yes, I do. I did watch Shahs of the children. Shahs of Sunset. I'm sorry. Yes, I did watch Shahs of Sunset. regarding the Mike, and I feel like there are relationships where they are in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. I feel like these are people you feel like they should be in your life for a lifetime because you guys have been through so much. But I feel like Mike and Reza really need a break from each other. They really need a break because I understand everything Reza was saying about Mike, and I understood everything Mike was saying about Reza, and I get both of them, and I just feel like they just need to go on other sides of the aisle and just respect each other that way, because I understand where Reza is coming from. Like, I'm not gonna lie for you, dude. Like, your problems are coming on my side of the street, and now I have to lie, and that makes me anxious. And I'm not just gonna lie to your girlfriend because I like your girlfriend. And then the same thing in reverse. I want my friends to have my back 10 toes down. But when it comes to constantly cheating on someone and me just being cool with it, especially if I'm friends with that person too, and I see how it's hurting them, I might take issue with it. But really the issue in all of this is Paulina, in my opinion.
Paulina?
Yeah. Yeah, because, and stick with me. When you're in a relationship, if my man messes up, if my husband messes up, I'm not calling his mama. I'm not calling his best friend. I'm not calling his female friends. I'm not calling everybody in his life to tell them what they're doing without a plan of escape from him. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I've had relationships in my past where things were going bad, but when I called people up to tell people what happened and what's going down, it was when I was leaving the house. I had a friend who was going through domestic violence. Didn't know she was going through domestic violence. She smiled up and down in my face and said that he was the best thing walking this earth. She called me one day and told me a litany of things this man had done to her from the engagement of their union. And I didn't know until that day, and that was the day she was leaving him. I feel like with Paulina, you've told everybody what he was doing, but you didn't have a plan to leave him. You didn't leave him. So I feel like this and all the fires that are being lit is Paulina's fault. And I think it's interesting now that she doesn't want to come around and stand up in it, because my thing is, if this is the man you chose, you need to stand by him and all of his shit that you're letting everybody know that he's doing. Yet I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to curse on here. I'm sorry, but that you're standing with him, and then despite you telling them everything. I'm sorry.
And stand behind the way that Dr. Contessa is standing behind Dr. Scott.
Listen, if you want to be foolish and stand by them, that is on you. But like I said, she is the one who's lighting the match, and then mad when everybody is yelling fire, fire, fire.
And she runs away.
And she runs away.
Guys.
Say it again, Danielle.
I said I have a question for you guys. Recognizing that Paulina isn't in it for the money, do you think she's in it for the fame?
Oh yes. Yeah, but she's so boring. She's not gonna get that.
She doesn't know that she's boring. She thinks that she's fabulous.
Paulina.
Why? Because of her lips. Why? Because of her
injected.
Please.
Ladies, stay on the line. I'm gonna take some callers, okay? Rasani, I'm gonna bring you up.
Hi, my love. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Sorry I missed you earlier. I had the day off and I was sleeping my off.
I won't blame you. You giving us Robin vibes.
Listen, just to say something with that, Robin, she was in a state of depression because she thought she was going to lose her job, and then she found out that Monique quit, so then her job was safe. Sorry, just had to throw a quick shade. Sorry. Okay.
We'll explore that. I am probably going to go live again to do another recap of this first episode because it was so good. But
if you do, I'll be on.
Hopefully, because you're sleeping like Robin. Rasani, what were your thoughts? Because we're recapping Shahs of Sunset and Married to Medicine. If you feel like Shahs was too boring to talk about, that's okay, because I feel like it's the same thing every week.
Okay, I'm just going to address Shahs real quick and then get on to Married to Medicine. You know that we're watching it back again together. Me the second time, you the first time. Have you seen the Belize trip?
Yes.
Okay. So like this is my thing. I think the thing with Mike that his friends get upset with him about is the fact that, and I think this was also probably the same thing with Denise and Rena. If me and you are friends, you can be cool and tell me, yo, Kempire, XYZ, blah, 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 blah. All right, cool, I got it. I'll know what to keep off TV. You know that I'll know what to keep off TV, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're constantly lying and you're gaslighting, oh, no, nothing is wrong. Everything is fine. No, I didn't do that. That's a lie. Blah. I think they asked him on camera before he admitted that he did cheat on Jessica. I think they asked him like 4 times before he said, oh, all right, yeah, I did. Yep. So I think that's what the problem is, where Reza is coming from. Reza, you're a grown man. You don't need to go back to your father triggered, blah, 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 because I know that's BS. Just say to him, Mike, if me and you are friends, tell me what's going on. I'll know how to move accordingly at that point. That's it.
Or tell your girlfriend, stop texting your friend group.
With even that, the last caller, I'm sorry, I apologize. I can't see too well on the screen and I forgot your name. What she said is absolutely right. If I'm with someone, and most women that I know, that if you're with someone and you're looking through their phone or doing this and seeing this, that, and the other, all that stuff doesn't come out until it's like, I'm going to pull the trigger and I'm done. I'm over it. They don't even bring it up to the guy that they know that you're cheating on them. So you pull the trigger, Paulino. Now what? You got everybody involved. Now, these aren't even your friends. These are his friends. You got his friends involved in something for what? What's the point? But that's Shahs. I'll leave them to it. But yes, it is the same recycle thing. Might keep your jewel in your pants. If you don't want to be in a relationship, don't stop trying. Stop trying to live for your parents. Your parents have already lived their life. Don't dislike the video, Mike. I'm telling the truth. Your parents have already lived their life. You have to live your life and stand in your own truth. With Married to Medicine, Contessa, first, I want to say Quad was auditioning for her next talk show. Kudos to you, Quad. Thumbs up. I give it to you. No, she did a good job. Scott and Contessa. Both of them don't seem to have their stories right. I'm confused.
Because they're lying.
He's on one page, she's on another page. He seems to be confused. Other than his confusion, his lies. And Contessa didn't prep him well enough to go, okay, this is what we're going in to do. You know, it's like, when did you get served with the paperwork? A month ago. Quad is giving a different number, and Contessa is I don't know. I'm confused. And Contessa, I don't know why you stand in your truth. If this is how you feel, why do the ladies need to speak up for you?
And you saw how, just backtracking, you know, when they went backstage, and I'm glad they caught this footage, her interaction, you know, her breakdown, Dr. Contessa's breakdown backstage, and then coming at Dr. Jackie, you know, stop blaming me. What did you think about some of the things she said? You know, one of the statements that she made was that I don't matter. That's powerful.
Who does she not matter to? Do you not matter to yourself? Do you not matter to your children? Do you not matter to your husband? Who do you not matter to? And the fact that she was even attacking Jackie, I don't even know where that was coming. I don't know. Contessa, you're confusing. Nobody knows. Your story isn't straight. I want to feel empathy for you. I really do. And I want to feel like it's a genuine situation. But because you need other people to speak for you, one. Two, when you do speak, you just leave everybody else in a state of confusion, including your husband. I don't know where you're coming from. Even, do you recall when, after they came on stage and they came off stage and the men were like, what's his face? Scott was like, oh, I misunderstood. I'm sorry, Scott. What did you misunderstand? I'm confused. What was confusing to you that you felt like you needed to leave? You needed to bombard? What?
She's confused all around.
Oh, like the rest of us? Are you confused?
I'm very confused because I'm not understanding where this relationship is and where it's going. And based on what everyone has said, this has been their storyline for so long. Well, then you either, you know, what they say, ish, or get off the pod.
Oh, and there was something I was gonna say to you. Oh, I remember last time we spoke about, what's this, 2 weeks ago when we spoke to Married to Medicine. You're like, oh, leave Jackie alone. She brought up the Buffy thing this time. I didn't bring it up. She brought it up. And still, Jackie, I cannot stand behind you when you're gonna speak about a woman's reproductive issues. And I don't think Simone did anything wrong. And I think Simone would have probably gotten what Simone stands behind Toya with. It's foolishness, you know. It's nothing serious. This was a serious issue, and if Simone had come out publicly and stood behind Jackie, she would have gotten eaten.
Oh, El Michelle, you said you had thoughts on this.
Yes. As far as what she was saying about Rizani, as far as what she was saying about why Contessa was, I do agree. They just didn't get their lives together as far as Scott and Contessa are concerned, because I feel like from the jump of them joining this show, it's been some type of I'm gonna do this and you do this so we can stay relevant to remain a part of this show or remain talking points on this show. Me personally, and so I feel like Rizani is correct. I feel like they can't get their lies straight. As far as her snapping back at Dr. Jackie, twofold. I feel like Jackie always puts whatever a problem is on the woman. I've never recall her putting a problem or a situation someone is going through on the man. It's always, well, what can you do? What can you do? Yes, it is what can I do? But let's talk about what this man is not doing. And then also with Contessa, I feel like Contessa just is not living and standing in her truth as far as overall life is concerned. She should have never gotten married when she got married, because I just remember her saying that when she got married, Scott basically there was no more traveling, and she's a girl who loves to travel based on what she said. Like I think the first season that she was on there, that's one thing. And again, she lies. She's lied to herself so much. I feel like that her life, she has to keep this lie going. Okay. And now she doesn't know how to come out and like just be truthful with everything and stand in her truth. And yes, leave Scott, because I feel like there's also an element of, I don't know where Contessa was born and raised, but I feel like there's an era of I have to be the cookie cutter of what a wife, mother, and a black woman, a black successful woman is supposed to be. And that is in this big, beautiful house with these perfect kids and this perfect husband, and we have this perfect marriage. But if she stands back and look at her life, nothing is perfect because there's this lie.
Well, I think that comes from her. I think that this comes from her growing up the way that she did. I think she's trying to make her childhood perfect through her children. And I think that's in her in the marriage part, because she didn't have that growing up. If I'm correct, I want to get some other callers. Ladies, stay on the line, okay? Hold on. All right, Miss Marie, I'm going to bring you up.
Hey, Kempire.
How are you?
I'm good. You are correct about Contessa's childhood. That's what I wanted to hit on too, because I'm the one who put in the chat that Scott's a man child. I should have put Scott's a man child and she's a woman child, because I think she's stuck in her issues that she had with her father. She's looking for Scott to fix that and to love her like her father didn't, but he's not going to. Nobody can. He's not your father. And yeah, she's putting up with this because she does want the family and the happy husband. Well, the husband and wife, not happy husband and wife, but that's what she wants to present, because that's not what she had. So yeah, but the thing that kills me, I never understood this, and I asked my aunt this like a few years ago. I don't understand why women say I'm going to stay because I have kids. What are you going to do when the kids are gone? And your life is half over. I mean, realistically, you're wasting years being miserable because you have kids, and you're making your kids miserable because they see everything that's going on.
I guess they missed that. I guess they missed that episode. I was a kid and I was watching Oprah, and when she had an expert on there, and I learned then that people in relationships should not stay together because of the kids, because they actually make it worse for the kids.
Exactly. Well, my aunt said she did it because that's what they were taught to do. But I'm like, times are different now, so that's not really Contessa's situation. It's just weird to me why people do that. I'm going to stay for the kids. Okay, the kids are going to grow up and leave. What are you going to do?
It's like a prison sentence.
Yeah, right. Quiet. I love Quiet, but I don't think she should be on the show.
Why?
I think if they leave her on, it's going to turn, Married to Medicine is going to turn into what the Housewives are now. Remember back in the day when Housewives, are you an original Housewives person?
Yeah.
Like OC and all that?
Oh,
remember it was actual families, and everybody was married and they were living their life. They had a little drama, but you were actually seeing the wealth and what they did. Yeah. And now it's turned into ratchetness because they have all these friends of, and half the wives are single. So like Danielle was saying, there's a camaraderie, even though they might not all get along, there's still camaraderie when they're all married. And I just don't want them to take away from, the show, how the show is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because I have a feeling if they keep quiet, the next season is going to be, Quiet's bringing a friend up. No, we don't want friends. We want to see actual marriages, married folks doing their thing. It's called Married to Medicine.
At least they brought Anila, a.k.a. Anita.
No, I don't have a problem with her. I'm saying I don't want single people to be, nothing against the single folks.
Sidebar, I just want to point this out. We have not talked about Anita at all this episode. That says a lot, Anita.
I forgot she was even at the reunion.
You know, exactly.
I really did. I did. Until you just mentioned her. I really did. Did she even talk yesterday?
No.
Oh, okay. So I didn't miss anything. And I fell asleep on Shahs of Sunset too, so I don't have anything to offer on that.
Oh, Shahs, that's not good. Mystery, thank you so much for calling. Yeah. We're going to get a couple of callers before we go. We end. All right. I want to take a couple of callers before we end. Ablavi? I hope I pronounced that correctly. Hey, what's going on?
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I didn't watch Shahs. I just watched Married to Medicine. I haven't watched the season. I just started off with the reunion, and that was a disgusting gaslighting from Contessa's husband.
Oh.
He was I couldn't believe what I was watching. He was leaving the show. He was going in the back room. I'm tired of them showing particularly Black women in horrible marriages. I think she needs to leave him. And I'm tired of everybody, especially Heavenly, with this stay with your man, because he's in denial. He wants his side chick and his wife.
Damn. He wants both?
Yeah, because that joke wasn't funny. And a big problem I have with this show is, why are the women always forgiving the men? If Contessa had a side man at her college and was talking about to her kids, this is my boyfriend, he wouldn't have liked it. It wouldn't have been let's go to therapy.
Bring up a good point.
He was just, the gaslighting, the talking down, we've been only separated a month and it's 6 months. It was disgusting.
Truly disgusting. Any other thoughts on Married to Medicine?
I'm really kind of wanting some fresh meat on Married to Medicine. I really don't care for Jackie and Simone. Oh, that Jackie and Simone fight was ridiculous too.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think that they're not going to be friends because they don't want to be friends anymore. It is what it is, because Heavenly is not as secure in her marriage as she lets it off to be.
What do you know?
Here's all I would say. I will say somebody who's interested. Remember when they went and that hooker said she wanted to sleep with her husband? was a few seasons ago, and how mad she got and how she was just going off. Heavenly will never tell you, but she's very insecure. Because remember, she told you she tricked Daddy into marrying her. I just think like this show, I want to see, I don't understand the point of being married if all your husbands have side chicks. I don't see the point in
every marriage just have their own different rules. Maybe they're okay with it.
I'm fine with that, but don't show it like, I mean, come on. If your husband has to have, you have to have 3 people in your marriage, you might as have another person too. Like, we never see the opposite. We never see one of these women cheating with their husbands. I think Simone and Jackie don't get along anymore because they've just passed that life in their friendship. Sometimes you just get old. They're just 2 different people now.
Yeah.
It shows 2 different directions because Heavenly has a slick mouth, but you saw how upset she was when Simone's husband told her to get a power wash, and she actually did it. Because her house is lived in. I'm not trying to say her house isn't nice, but it's lived in. It's not rich. A beautiful house. It's lived in. You know, I personally think I would keep Contessa if she gets a divorce. I'm not interested in Quad and her foolishness. The new girl was boring. I mean, bring Mariah back if this is all you got, and let her and Lucy come back. Let Lucy get a man and give her something.
Oh Lord.
Let Lucy and Lauren, let them get a man and get something. I'm just over it. I just want to say this was ridiculous. I'm sure you're going to talk about Potomac soon. That was ridiculous too. I'm just over like Atlanta, you know. I'm over Love and Hip Hop, The Housewives. Like, we had a great 10 years,
and now you're done.
Yeah.
Ablavi, thank you so much for calling in.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye. Guys, don't forget to like this video. We have over 230 something people watching. Like this video, and if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. We are celebrating over 25,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for joining our journey. Don't forget to check out our community tab. We have a lot of really great, cool polls, information, and we will be adding a new YouTube membership coming very, very soon. Another way for you to support the channel and get exclusives, and we will be adding new perks to that very, very soon, including some loyalty badges and emojis. All right, we're going to take some more callers. Callers, please make these comments quick as possible, if at all. And it could be on Shahs of Sunset or Married to Medicine Reunion Part 2. I'll start with T. Maria. Hey, T. Maria. You're muted, T. Maria. Uh-oh. All right, T. Maria. Amelia, I'm going to bring you up.
Oh, hey, how are you, Kempire?
I'm well. How are you?
I am blessed. Thank you. I think your show is amazing. It's been really keeping me going through the whole COVID situation. But I just want to call and weigh in on a little bit on Married to Medicine. I do not watch the Shahs. I get all my dirt from you on the Shahs and my sister, but I don't watch that. I am a Bravo Housewives franchise girl. But anyway, Contessa and her man. Okay, I also want to say that I'm an old school Church of God in Christ kind of girl, and I do believe in working through marriage. And I just feel that we need to see more positive marriages on these programs. I remember when the franchises first started out, they all, even though the marriages weren't perfect, they were families, you know, just kind of working through day-to-day life things. But I just hate to see the breakdown of this particular marriage on national television. And like I believe the previous caller just said, this guy is totally gaslighting Contessa. And he needs a good licking, I tell you, because he shouldn't be dragging her on national television like that. I mean, playing around with side chicks and all that kind of stuff. Even it's a bad joke. Even if it's a joke, it's a terrible joke. I mean, we're talking about marriage here.
Did you notice his response when they were talking about in the DMs and if he responded or not?
No.
He was like, oh, I might have responded like, you know, I had, you know, when they had brought up the whole conversation on DMs, I went to my DMs and looked, and I responded, you know, like, oh damn. And I was like, what? He is such a terrible liar.
Yeah, he needs the crap beaten out of him just for mistreating his wife.
Well, we're not going to promote violence.
Oh no, but I'm just saying. I mean, I am such a strong proponent of marriage, and I can kind of ride Heavenly's coattail with the kind of stand by your man, ride or die. I mean, granted, you know, there's just some situations where you probably should just move on, even for the sake of the children. I mean, you know, I had one of those marriages where, you know, I stayed in for my kids, and I'm kind of glad I did. But at the end of the day, you know, what like you said, what are you promoting to the children? You know,
my question to you, and this is why I really love having people call in, and when they bring up their own personal stories, why were you happy that you did stay for the kids? What were the benefits you saw?
Because I had sons, and I feel that it's good for men to see love. Because I feel, and you know, and I'm now a grandmother, and I still put forth that position of, you know what, love. You know, love. I mean, granted, you know, it's not a perfect situation, but at the same time, I stayed because I wanted my children to see a good, loving home. And yes, we had our shouting matches at times behind closed doors, and there were times where, you know, they saw us, you know, stomping around, not speaking to each other. But I also wanted to show them how to work through love as well. And, you know, and when things didn't always go well with marriage, I sat down and I spoke to my children. You know, I talked to them and I said, you know, this is not a perfect situation. You know, mom and dad can do better. We're going to try and do better. I mean, sometimes you just got to just sit down and talk to your children as well. So, I mean, so if Contessa's trying to ride this thing out, you know, I'm sorry, you know, I salute her. But at the same time, I mean, don't be nobody's doormat.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you've gotta know when to hold them, and you gotta know when to fold them. And I can't, and no one can make a decision for you but you.
Amen.
So I wish her all the best. I just feel some kind of way that this marriage is being played out this way.
Yeah. I mean, it's rough. If she's staying for the kids, that's going to be a long, because those kids are young.
Yes, but I just pray that, you know, they come to some type of decision, yay or nay. But I hope he watches, you know, these YouTube uploads and see what the world really thinks about his ASS, because he's got to do better. He's got to do better.
I agree, but I don't know if I suggest him watching anything.
No, but I hope they all watch the Ninis, all of them, because they need to know. They need to know they are raggedy.
Oh, Amelia.
I'm sorry.
I appreciate your honesty.
I hate to be so judgmental, but I sit here watching my 60-inch saying, you know what? You know you're wrong for that. But Amelia, they need to know what the YouTube streets are saying, and they need to get their best lives. They really do, but not at the expense and welfare of other people. That's not right.
I agree.
Okay,
Amelia,
well, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you for giving me my moment to.
You made me laugh, and I appreciate it.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. Guys, we have almost 300 people watching this video. Be sure to like the video. If you're watching the replay, this is our Shahs of Sunset and Married to Medicine reunion part 2 recap. Let me know your thoughts on the latest episode of Shahs. Are you still interested in it? We still will be covering it because I do find the show interesting, but I'm seeing the parallels between early seasons and what's currently going on. And I want to know your thoughts on Married to Medicine and what's going on between Dr. Contessa and Dr. Scott. Who do you believe? And do you believe that Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie are really trying to mend their relationship? Well, based on what Dr. Heavenly and Quad were saying, no. I'm going to take a couple more callers, and then we're going to round this out. See if I'm going to bring you up.
Hey, Kempire.
Hey, how are you?
Doing great. I have the same critique for both Mike and Scott.
Oh.
Do you have your wig glued down? Is it okay? Because like the great Candy Burr said in My Little Secret, if you're gonna cheat, at least be good at it. Now, I don't condone cheating. I don't respect it, but let's keep it real. On the 8 seasons of that show, all the men, I'm not sure about Amelia's husband, but all of them have engaged in some type of activity. They've all had some sort of alleged situation. So they've all been through that situation. And I think that the issue is that they're not really coaching Scott properly. This goes back to, unfortunately, lost my train of thought. But here's the thing, like if you're going to engage in DM behavior, at least send it as disciplinary messages. If you're going to engage in DMing behavior, at least delete it at the end of each session. If you're going to engage, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that's how it is. But if you're going to engage in that behavior, you need to not keep a trail, because that's what keeps getting him caught up. Is that, and actually, that's the same thing with Mike as well. Is that they keep getting caught up with their breadcrumb trails. So if you're going to engage in that behavior, and if you're going to have your cake and eat it too, at least be smart about it. Because when the girls were backstage and Contessa said something that really stuck out to me when all the women were like consoling her. She said, "I feel like I'm in a washing machine and I keep getting spun around," and that really stuck out to me because like, and you saw like the confusion and the hurt and the pain in her eyes, and she just looked like she was like spaced out, and like that was all the manipulation and all the gaslighting that was happening. And you know, ultimately at the end of the day, if you're going to engage in that behavior, either do it properly or at least sit down with her and say, listen, let's try to open up this relationship and see what happens. You know, that's my take on it.
And Cephas, we always appreciate you calling in and supporting the channel. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. All right. We're going to take one more caller. April, I'm going to bring you up. Hey, April.
What's up? Listen, my lighting is terrible and I look like shit. So just forget it.
You look fine.
No, I was trying to get it right before you pulled me up. But anyway. All right. So where do I start? Shahs, I really don't care. I mean, it's the same old, same old. I mean, just like Contessa, it's a washing machine. Just getting it in your head. I mean, it's the same old repetitive crap. I'm kind of over it. But on a serious note, though, with Contessa and Scott, I just get a real bad feeling about that dude. I don't like the way he came on stage and approached her. He gives me, and I can say this because I've been in a relationship like that. I felt like, and I'm speaking on how I felt, you know, like she was almost intimidated by him. Like she was scared to even speak. I mean, she even gave Quad the platform to say it for her. You know what I'm saying? And he acted so confused. And I'm like, okay, it should have been shut down right then. I mean, if I was her girlfriends up on stage, I'd have been like, you need to back. I would have got real ugly because you could clearly see as a woman that she's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
She's just going through the motions, you know what I'm saying, because of the kids. But God only knows what goes on behind closed doors. We can only assume.
Yeah.
But based on that alone, he did that, you know, on camera. What is he doing off camera? You know?
And we heard from Carrie that they were arguing in the hotel room. And then we also heard, we saw on camera when they brought up the conversation at the dinner table in front of the entire group and they were confronting him, how she looked. Like she was like, I apologizing to the group. So we've seen multiple times this season alone of just some problematic behavior from Dr. Scott.
And I mean, that's concerning for whoever he's allegedly cheating with. Well, she better run too, because if this is how he's going to be, you ain't going to be no different. If he's doing that to the mother of his children, what the hell he's going to do to you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. He's not giving himself a good look. My prayers and thoughts go out for Contessa because, you know, that's not an easy situation to be in. And I get it, to feel stuck whenever you have kids involved, but the kids are going to be better off. I know it's going to be hard for her to see that, but they will be, rather than see this conflict.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To have a co-parent situation where it's healthy.
Yeah, I agree. April, thank you so much for calling in and sharing your thoughts and your own experience. We appreciate you.
I appreciate you, Kempire. Sorry, I look like crap now. Edit my face out. Put a little emoji on here.
No, you look fantastic. Thank you so much for calling in.
You're welcome.
See, look, what I love is that when people look, I don't care if people call in and they have their avatar or whatever or just a picture, but I also appreciate seeing your faces. So feel free when you call into the channel to show your face if you want to. I'm not forcing you, but show your face, but don't show nothing else. Guys, thank you so much for joining. I'm going to see what Danielle last minute thoughts, because I know you probably have more than just last minute thoughts.
So yeah, okay. So I'm listening to everyone. I didn't take notes. I took mental notes. So hopefully I can remember everything. I'm going to start with Shahs. I think it's time for us to say goodbye to Shahs because they have nothing. They have nothing. We've already said it before. They are all literally here just to collect a check. They have no one has anything else to fall back on. They want to talk bad about Asa, but Asa came and, like Miriam said, she put Caskins on the map. So she has that.
You're so shady.
Miriam's gonna kill me, but I don't care. That's funny. But I just feel like with Shahs, it's nothing. It's unless they get new Shahs, it's nothing left. Because it's time. Reza is toxic. Mike is trash. Paulina's whack, so we don't need her as a new Shah. I still like Destiny. Destiny's funny, but she can go back to the people's couch, and I would love her there where we got her from. And Gigi can go be a mom now and go be great it's nothing left with Shahs. We watched them, we got them in their early and mid 30s, and now they're 40s and blooming and stuff. So it's time for them to retire that cast. Maybe Nima can stay. We always what's her guy that never comes around? We always love with the real money. Sure, we can always bring Shervin back. Even if they brought back Lily still has her eyelash business going, like she was booming, but they were just so jealous of her, not them being the guys, but like the girls. It's time to say farewell to Shah's cast and maybe just recast it.
I just want to post this shade. You know I love you. Can you read what this says?
ASAP. Asa put captions on the map. Yep.
Y'all are so shady. Logan also says, I do prefer Family Karma. Me too on this one. But I'm enjoying the early seasons. But like I said, watching the early seasons and then seeing what's happening now, I'm like, it's like the same stuff.
So is it a thing of we enjoy the early season and once they get hit with fame, we leave them or we let them go and get some new ones?
Is that our fault or is it their fault?
It's their fault. But I think also producers and Bravo have to recognize the cycle and know when to cut it off. Because we don't want that to happen to Family Karma. So once Family Karma gets up and booming and they start getting a little taste of real fame, then it might be time to cut it off.
Season 5?
Yes. Let's just make a hard stop at season 5 and get a new cast in. And that's how the cycle should be. Now, as far as our Married to Medicine people, so a couple of things. One, I think it was El Michelle who said that Jackie wanted Contessa to take ownership of what she did in the situation and how everyone always puts it on the women, I think she said.
You expect me to quote Dr. Jackie at this point?
Well, with that, I agree with El Michelle, but Jackie didn't take ownership of her own stuff. When she and Curtis were going through their stuff, she kept putting it on Curtis. And Curtis came to her and was like, I need you to come home and close the laptop. I need you to be with me. He was wanting her time and she wanted to come home. She thought that her sitting with him on her laptop was her giving him the attention that he was asking her for. And it wasn't. And as soon as he got caught up in the airport with his little pootie tune, then she wanted to leave him and blame it all on him. When he came to her time and time and said, this is what I need from you. And she was like, but I'm trying. And he was like, but no, you're not trying hard enough. So I think Jackie needs to take her own advice and sit down somewhere. And she needs to lead a show too. Now, with that, Contessa.
Wait, sidebar. Those Dr. Jackie skincare commercials, why they look so bootleg?
Do you know they look like they belong after they're infomercials? That's what they look like. They look like infomercials. Like we're going to see that in that store that you periodically see as seen on TV. That's the store that we're going to see her stuff in.
They look as bland as Dr. Jackie personality. Anyways, you were saying?
So therefore, the face matches the product. Don't get it. And because again, we have a gynecologist trying to tell us how to take care of our facial needs. That doesn't match. That doesn't go together. Nice try, Jackie. As far
as cash that check, Jackie.
Jackie got checks to cash. She got everybody. She birthing everybody, baby, and all up in everybody. Yoo-hoo. Somebody said I'm giving infomercials a bad name. Infomercials gave themselves a bad name years ago. As far as Contessa continuously talking about she's in it for her kids, listening to everyone else earlier made me think of, if she really wants to stay in this marriage and fix it for her kids, I need her to remove herself from social media and remove herself from this show, her and her husband, because what's happening is the show, the kids, all of the information, all the DMs is all being captured on television. People can go to iTunes and purchase it. They can go to YouTube TV and purchase it. So the kids will always be able to relive this or be teased about it in school. She needs to remove your ego and get out of the fame. Remove yourself from this platform. Remove yourself from social media and go to therapy long enough to fix it. And don't ever come. I mean, obviously, they're probably going to come back to social media, but they never need to come back to reality television if she really wants to fix this for her kids. Because just imagine her kids growing up and being able to go back on demand and see this and be like, well, mommy, why'd you stay? Well, mommy, with this. Then there's that. So I need her to help me make it make sense, because you can't keep saying I'm in it for my kids. But this show, and I recognize they definitely had problems before they started this show, but this show did not help their problems. This show is enhancing and putting their problems on Front Street under the limelight in the DMs. Scott doesn't know how to handle the DMs. And I'm thinking, even if they remove themselves from the show, they're still going to have people in their DMs. So that's why they got to remove themselves from social media long enough to fix their marriage first. Because Scott's horny. Let's just call it what it is. Because I'm sure she's not making time for him to give him what he wants. And I think those little scenes where they do it while they're out of town, I think that's just for TV to make it look like they're so happy they're getting in the quickie. Because remember, they came to DC for the march. They were taking their time in the room. They were late coming down to breakfast or something. They were like, oh, we were getting in. I think they might have gotten a little quickie in to just work it out, but to make themselves look like that, yes, we're trying to fix this. Contessa needs to fix it and stop blaming it on the kids. Take ownership of your part and fix your marriage if that's what you really want.
Shantae, I brought you last minute thoughts. We've been live for almost an hour and a half. Thoughts on Married to Medicine, the reunion part 2.
Yep, exactly what I was going to say, Danielle. They need to get off of this show and just stop showcasing only their problems and issues. It's very rare that we have somebody who can do something like come on here when their marriage is hanging by a thread or hanging by a string and actually kind of rebound, maybe like how Cecil and Simone did, or how Jackie and her husband did, which I really don't feel like they're really going to be there much longer. I really feel like Jackie is like checked out. That's just my opinion. Also, as far as Shahs, this was a nice episode. I liked seeing them do, talking about Friendsgiving and everything, but I feel like it's too little too late, because this whole drama between MJ and Reza has been going on, even though we're just now seeing this has been going on for about 2 years, or this was 2 years ago. So they're still dragging it out. And I feel like at some point, if not this season, then the next season needs to be the swan song for Shahs, and they need to be done.
Whoa.
Because, and I wouldn't be interested in them. I wouldn't be interested in any of them having a spinoff. I'm not interested in them individually. Shahs, I think
they're warning you, Bravo. Don't get any ideas.
Right. Unless it's one of those limited series where it's like 4 or 5 episodes, I could see that. But where you're trying to make fetch happen and trying to give somebody like Reza, oh God, no, an actual spinoff that can have several seasons, I just don't see it. It was nice to hear Mike trying to say, he was trying to manage a multi-unit building and he was like the director. this definitely needs to be it for Shahs. That's all I kept thinking in this last episode, because it's just really not giving me anything any different. It's the same thing every season. MJ versus somebody, Mike cheating on somebody, blah blah blah. So yeah, it's
I mean, 9
Shahs to go.
seasons. That's not bad. 9 seasons.
It's really not. But after 9 seasons, they're not bringing anything new or interesting. And like I said, this whole thing is coming up like this just happened last year, and it didn't. It was like about 2.5 years ago. So it's like, yeah, they couldn't really come up with much. And I get it that we were, a lot of this stuff that we have, these latest seasons were during pandemic. But I think the pandemic also made us see that, you know what, if you can't even be interesting when you're still filming during a pandemic, or different when you're still filming during a pandemic, then it's either time for the cast to get rebooted or the show to just go.
Damn, you guys are tough. Ladies,
and I love my Shahs, but yeah, let's be real.
Shantae, thank you so much for calling in. Danielle, thank you so much for calling in as well.
See you guys.
Have a fantastic evening, ladies. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. This was our recap of Shahs of Sunset and the Married to Medicine reunion part 2. There will be another part to the Married to Medicine reunion. So we will do another Shahs and Married to Medicine mashup next week. We will also do a Real Housewives of Potomac recap next week as well. And I also will be joining Layla Lynn and the Grace Report for another recap of Potomac. So be sure to look out on my social media where and when that will be. But I know you guys want more conversations on the Real Housewives of Potomac. So stay tuned. If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out when we do a follow-up on this very first episode. But if you missed earlier today's lunch hour recap of the Real Housewives of Potomac, be sure to check out the Kempire Daily YouTube channel. Thank you to everyone that decided to tune in for this recap. I appreciate you guys. Shout out to my mods. Shout out to everyone that called in. And shout out to everyone that had the conversation in the chat. We cannot do this show without the conversation. So I appreciate you all being here. Have a fantastic evening. I'm going to go get something to eat. Don't forget, guys, I just posted. Did Ramona Singer get fired from the Real Housewives of New York? Go check out that video. I just posted it. And if you haven't subscribed to my podcast, that's where you get some tidbits that I don't mention on anywhere else there. Kempire Radio on all podcast platforms. Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. Have a fantastic evening.